CBS News senior national security analyst Juan Zarate worked with John Brennan during the administration of President George W. Bush. Juan, good morning. What's the hardest question that Brennan will get, and what will he say in answer?
Well, I think, Charlie, he's going to face two types of questions. The first will be a question about his past involvement in policies that were controversial during the Bush administration. Keep in mind, John Brennan is a longtime CIA professional, was at the right hand of George Tenet, the CIA director, right after 9/11. And so he's going to face questions from Democrats about his prior role in detention and rendition policies. He's also going to face these questions that Bill Plant was just talking about, questions about the targeting of American citizens, the authority to target with lethal force, and what his role and the administration's views are on precisely those policies.
Juan, as you know, President Obama was concerned about secrecy. In 2009, he ordered the release of those documents about controversial interrogation policies under the presidency of George W. Bush. But then he kept this memo secret. Isn't it hypocritical of President Obama to keep this secret, given what he said in the past?
Well, I happen to believe it was probably a wrong decision to release the 2009 memos. I think certainly there's a little bit of hypocrisy here, Nora, to use your terminology, but I think the reality is there are reasons for keeping some of this information secret, reasons so that the enemy doesn't understand what our thinking is, what our processes are, what evidence is required to actually substantiate a targeted strike, for example. So there are reasons to keep it secret, but certainly the administration is under pressure to be more transparent, especially when targeting American citizens.
But Juan, it's not even secret to the American people. The point of Congress is saying the Senate Intelligence Committee that was created to make sure the government doesn't carry these things out, they didn't even get the memos. And as Senator Wyden has said, doesn't every American have the right to know when the government believes it's legal to kill Americans?
Absolutely, Nora. And I think the administration made a mistake here in not having Congress involved earlier on, especially when you're talking about an American citizen. That's the role of Congress here. And I think one of the key questions that people have is how can the executive branch, the president, be judge, jury, and executioner of American citizens without an outside process or some oversight to monitor this? And I think that's what the administration is trying to deal with now with the release of the memos to the Senate.
Do you believe that coming out of this, the administration might change the policy of killing Americans without explanation or analysis?
Well, I think, Charlie, what's going to happen is you're going to continue to see an internal debate within the administration as to who should be subject to targeted strikes. There's already a lot of controversy internationally about the legitimacy of these strikes, a lot of blowback in countries like Yemen and Pakistan, questions about violations of sovereignty. And also, Charlie, importantly, a question about what is al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is changing as we speak. It's morphing. It has its regional groups. And so the question of who is a member of al-Qaeda, who can be classified as a senior operational leader, I think will continue to bedevil officials and will continue to constrain who they likely target with lethal action.
And then, Juan, just quickly, how dangerous is it for U.S. national security that it was disclosed that we're flying these drones into Yemen out of a base in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think it's never good, Nora, to have a revelation of where we have our infrastructure to go after terrorists. I think that's a big problem. It also complicates our relationships with countries like Saudi Arabia, which want to keep these things secret. And if we can't keep them secret, they're not willing to work with us. But at the end of the day, these are platforms and techniques that are important to get at these terrorists that we can't reach in traditional ways.
Juan Zarate, thank you.